Hey, this is Gene. I just want to talk a little bit about Gary Neville today. A couple weeks ago, I did a video about him and his comments about angry white men in the UK. Did very well and got over 1,000 views. Thank you for all that. These are common sense comments on what he's done, what he's said in the past about this. But I don't want to talk about him as a pundit in soccer or football. That's my son in the background getting his lunch late in the day. This is what he does. Um, he said some things about Benjamin Sesko, saying he's awkward and he is not got the same level as Cunha and Brian Mbumbo. I can't say his name. I don't know why. I can't do it. Ever since I had a stroke, there are certain words doesn't come out right. And on the surface, there's nothing wrong with that. He has not played at the same level. Again, he's playing the number nine. He's called off to do little different things. And what's really concerning about this, and other people talk about it, Stephen Howson's talked about it, Sam Peoples have talked about it, even Mark Goldbridge. But the interesting thing is there were three people, probably the biggest pundits or people on YouTube that have a lot of people watching them that are fans that actually go to the games, actually fans of Manchester United. Two of the three were on the same page. And then, of course, the one that wasn't was Mark Goldbridge. He basically said that the comments were fine, that he hasn't really bedded in, and he is awkward. Now, obviously, he caveats it later on, but he basically said there's nothing wrong with what he said. Now, again, I have my own issues with Mark Goldbridge. First of all, when I get upset with him, I'll sit there and say he's from Nottingham. He left the city to go out. Once he got money, he got out, so he got away from all the shits in the inner city now in Britain. He basically got himself away from all that, but he still, when he actually goes in on players, really, really, really hard on players on Manchester United, they almost always are white. They almost always are. And I don't know why that is. Are we saying that only the white players are bad on Manchester United? I mean, the shit he said about Maguire before his upturn and form was disgusting in a lot of ways. And yeah, as you're watching the game, you can say stupid shit. Oh, I can't get him out of this club. I mean, he said some very nasty things about Maguire. He's saying that about Delo. Now, and I'm not going to say that Portuguese people are white, but they're European. I would think that the DNA probably would be on my side when it comes to that. If Spanish people are white, it'd be hard to say that Portuguese people aren't. Just saying. I'm not saying he doesn't have a black father or anything like that. I don't know. I'm just saying. And now it's Cisco. You know, I've said it many times before that Mark Goldbridge is anti-England as far as the players. He wants basically the team to, represent the world. I guess it helps him for his algorithm. A lot of his fans are from overseas. They're not people in England. Um, People in England kind of like think him as almost like a goof. But he's done well. He's worth millions of dollars at this point, and he has a nice house outside of Nottingham, away from all the shit that's going on, where the multiculturalism is going on in his country. And I don't know who he votes for. I don't really care about that. I think he's probably in the middle. But being in the middle in England's like being on the left here in the United States. It just is. So he said that there's nothing wrong with what Gary Neville said. Now, he did that in the United States. I know if he has this thing now with Peacock or NBC, he comes out here a couple times a year and he's being a pundit. And both times he's just railed into Manchester United. So, and Sam Peoples and Stephen Howson went after Gary Neville. And he said you can have the same type of criticism, but you can do it from not a supportive type of thing. But why is it? Because if you well, look, first of all, and I said it before, Neville is a Manchester United legend. Okay, he is, but he trying to be so unbiased that he still goes after the team all the time when there's no reason for it. If you look at the way that he played, and this is the thing that really upsets me. I'm an American. I wasn't grown up on soccer or football. I just wasn't, right? Obviously, I loved it as a kid. I played it, but I didn't have the cultural background like we have with baseball here in this country. Now we lost some of that, but that was our sport. So everybody knew about that, how they played baseball. He's like, oh, he learned the right way. But it's very clear to me that Sesko is playing his role pretty well. Sometimes he doesn't do well with holding down the ball, but he's 10 times better at that than Rasmus is. And I love Rasmus. He's played well in Italy. But he has the ability. He was the reason why Mbumbo scored, or actually got the free kick, and got the the player sent off against Chelsea, and we got the goal after that. And of course, we lost our player, but he was very instrumental in that, and he did stuff during these games. I think he got an assist the last game or the game before that, and he's got 2 goals. He's not been a flop. And the thing is, the problem I have with Gary Neville is that we had all this stuff in the press a couple weeks before that, or a week before that, saying that he's the biggest flop by these agents. And we're at that point, you would think that somebody that has some of the background of Manchester United say this is absolutely stupid. That no one should say that. He should have defended him then, or he should have when he brought it up and says, "Look, people have said this about him, that he's a flop or anything like that." But I see something else. I mean, he's got 2 goals. You can see how he sets up the play and all that stuff. I can see a future here at Manchester United, but he didn't. He says he's awkward, and he's not done it yet. And basically the verdict is already out. He's played what 7-8 games. How can he possibly be that when Isaac and those guys haven't done anything for Liverpool? Now again, it's harder getting from the Bundesliga in the Premiership. It's just a different game, and so this is where the other 2 were more measured and said, why is it he's still doing this? And I don't want to go down the political side, but I think Gary Neville is a projecting angry white man that every time he has an opportunity to go after a white person in sport or anything else, he's gonna take that opportunity, regardless of if the guy plays for Manchester United or not. And then the other thing is, well, for 80 million, well, that's not what he played. That's not how he's called. It's not what he's paid. That's not what he's cost. I just wish that these pundits would actually have the real terms when they're actually have this conversation. And I'm not asking him to be like Jamie Carragher, right? Now, he goes crazy when we score in games, right? But right after that, he tries to find a reason why we shouldn't have got that. And it's like, dude, do you have any fucking... Be human at some point. But I think there's something in it. I don't know what it is with him. And it's his political ideology somehow seeps into football as well. But anyway, so let me end with that and say that I think that he's wrong here again. It's not as big as his stupid comments about white men in England. And he'll be proven wrong about all this shit. And at some point, he'll beg to get back into good graces of the other white men in his country if England does not go down. But with his money, he can probably go somewhere else and live on the continent and be fine with that. I doubt that he lives in an area that he has to deal with multicultural bullshit. Just saying. But I just want to also talk about Kobe Mainoo. Again, he's talking about possibly leaving and something like that. And I hear a lot of people defending Kobe Mainoo. And all I have to say about Kobe Mainoo, I think he's a good player. I don't think he's good enough to start for Manchester United in that position. I don't think he's quick enough to play that in the Premiership. Do I think he could be good playing with other teams in the Premiership? Maybe. In the mid-tiers type of team, I think he'd do well. Maybe. He's just too slow. And he reacts too slow. It was about 2 years ago, I think it was, maybe 3. It was with him and maybe, it wasn't Rasmus, but they were doing a test, of their reaction times. And he was average, Bain average. The problem is he's not quick. He has he holds the ball well with his feet, and he might get around just by using that ability. But he can't be a destroyer in the midfield. And can he replace Bruno? Possibly. He definitely has the ability to score, but he's not the same level of we're talking about. I really believe this. I think Scholes is actually quicker than him I just think he is. And then I got people saying, well, he's Foden's slower, and he plays for Manchester United. I'm like, they're not the same type of player. Foden would be, we play number 10 if he was in our team. He'd be like what Mason Mounts does. He'd come in. He'd be a gnat on your fucking side, and then he would get places where you're not really watching him and put up some goals. Kobe doesn't have the physical nature. Again, he's tried. I've seen videos of him trying to get his quickness back. I mean, he's got a parachute on his back. There's a reason why he plays and does that type of exercise. It's to get him quicker, the first reaction. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have what, I'm not going to say, he doesn't have the athletic ability that some other people that look like him. I'm just saying that. He doesn't have it. Now, he's still good enough, and I think he'd be unbelievable if he played in Spain or in Germany or in Italy, or he would be unbelievable in those. Premiership's a totally different game. And the thing is, he's good enough to play for the national team because the national football, how they play, international football, isn't like the Premiership. And we just got to get past it. And we can't put there and say it's a racial thing. He's not playing because he's this. He's not playing because he's not good enough to be ahead of Bruno. And he is not smart enough to be ahead of Casemiro. They are similar when it comes to how fast they are. Now, again, he's a good player. He's still a young player. I have no issue if he wants to stay. Maybe if we have a different system, he might excel into it. I don't see it because this is the Premiership. And I know I'm going to get a lot of people upset about me because he came from the system. And I don't like the fact that I don't want us to lose that little thing that we have. Everybody has a team from, we always had a player from the youth team on the bench. But I don't think he's good enough. But again, I think he could be decent backup. And I think for the most part, I think that he has done what he's need to do, right? But he's not good enough. You know, under other regimes that had the ability that we just hold on the ball and go on the counterattack or something like that, he was fine. Under Ten Hag, he would have been fine. But this is different. And again, if you want to get rid of Ruben Amorim and get somebody else because Kobe is the future and you think he's going to be the great legend for Manchester United, and you want to put your whole game or your whole team around that, fine. I'll be with you. I just don't think it'll be good enough. I don't think so. I've seen enough of him. Okay? And yeah, he looks great for England. Again, it's not the same type of game. England's going to hold on to the ball 60 to 70% of the time, all the time, unless they're playing Spain. It's just how it is. If he went to Man City, probably do really, really well, right? Teams are going to hold on to the ball, or even Arsenal. He'd probably do really, really well. But he's not better than what's his face? Oh my God. I forgot how to say torture this morning, and now I don't even know. Declan Rice. He's not. Declan Rice is at least as fast as him, but he's stronger than him. He's a better shooter on him, a better passer than him. He has a bigger presence in midfield. I mean, he's a good player. And I'll leave it at that. You guys, let me know in the comments what you think about my commentary on Mark Goldbridge, Stephen Housen, Sam Peoples. All good people I like to watch, right? I have a lot of issues more with Mark. Not so much on the field, so much. I think that he's been another guy that he does what's best for his business and not really what's good for Manchester United. Stephen Housen's the best analyst on YouTube in my mind, and Sam Peoples probably the best fan channel, probably on the online. Probably would have to say that. So again, I watch all these guys. Stephen Housen, really like what he does in the morning when he walks and talking to people. I think that's a good thing for young men, especially. Regardless of what political side he's on, I think that's a good thing to do. That's what you're supposed to do when you're like 40. That's when you're supposed to go back and mentor younger men. That's what we're supposed to do. I'm 60, so I will. If I ever saw Stephen Housen, I would have that role. I would say this is what I see, and I would let you know. I would let him know where I think, and whatever that is, he might knock me out. I don't know. So I like those guys. I do, and it's just a little different, right? And I will call them out, and then I'll get in trouble because you can't talk about Mark Goldbridge because he's God. He's got over 2 million now. Could you put your real name out there now? I mean, seriously. Anyway, thank you for watching. share, subscribe if you want, and we'll talk about it later. You guys have a good day.